Good morning. This reading is for Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. Our three readings today are Psalms 119, 97 through 104, Numbers 11, 18 through 23, and 31 through 32, and then Matthew 18, verses 1 through 5. Hear these words. Our first reading is the Psalm, which is Psalms 119, 97 through 104. Oh, how I love all that you have revealed. I reverently ponder on it all day long. Your command gives me an edge on my enemies. They never become obsolete. I've even become smarter than my teacher since I pondered and absorbed your counsel. I've become wiser than the wise old sages simply by doing what you tell me. I watch my step, avoiding the ditches and the ruts of evil, so I can spend all my time keeping your word. I never make detours from the route that you laid out. You gave me such good directions. Your words are so choice and so tasty. I prefer them to the best home cooking. With your instruction, I understand life. That's why I hate false propaganda. Our Old Testament today comes from the book of Numbers, chapter 11. Starting out with verses 18 through 23. Tell the people, consecrate yourself. Get ready for tomorrow when you're going to eat meat. You've been whining to God, we want meat. Give us meat. We had a better life in Egypt. God has heard your whining and he's going to give you meat. You're going to eat meat. And it's not just for a day that you'll eat meat, and not 2 days or 5 or 10 or 20, but for a whole month. You're going to eat meat until it's coming out of your nostrils. You're going to be so sick of meat until you are about ready to throw up at the mere mention of it. And here's why. Because you have rejected God, who is right here among you, whining in his face, oh, why did we ever have to leave Egypt? Moses said, I'm standing here, surrounded by 600,000 men on foot, and you say, I'll give them meat every day for a month. So where it's coming from? Even if all the flocks and the herds were butchered, would that be enough? Even if all the fish in the sea were caught, would that be enough? God answered Moses, so, do you think I can't take care of you? You'll see soon enough what I says happens for you or not. The story continues with verses 31 through 34. Then Moses and the leaders of Israel went back to camp. A wind set up in motion by God swept quails from the sea. They piled up to a depth of about 3 feet in the camp and as far out as a day's walk in every direction. All that day and night and into the next day, the people were out gathering the quail. Huge amounts of quail. Even the slowest person among them gathered at least 60 bushels. They spread them out all over the camp for drying. But while they were still chewing the quail and had hardly swallowed the first bite, God's anger blazed out against the people. He hit them with a terrible plague. They ended up calling the place Kibroth Hattaavah, graves of the craving. There they buried the people who craved meat. Our New Testament reading comes from the book of Matthew chapter 18, verses 1 through 5. At about the same time, the disciples came to Jesus asking, who gets the highest rank in God's kingdom? For an answer, Jesus called over a child, whom he stood in the middle of the room and said, I'm telling you, once and for all, that unless you return to square one and start over like children, you're not even going to get a look at the kingdom, let alone get in. Whoever becomes simple and elementary again, like this child, will rank high in God's kingdom. What's more, when you receive the childlike on my account, it's the same as receiving me. And here ends our readings for the day.